Hello everyone, today we're gonna go over 3 hands, and we're gonna do this using Statname, poker statistics website. Okay, first hand, 9-8 suited. We defend in the big blind against a large raise of 4 BBs. Okay, flush draw on the flop, our opponent bets a half pot, we call. On the turn we hit check check, and we bet pot on the river with our flush. Our opponent raises small, well, basically he clicks back, and we decide to shove. Not fold, not call, just shove. And the question is, how good is this shove, considering that our opponent raised our pot bet. He used the min raise, but nonetheless he did raise. Well, of course, to make such a decision, we want to know who are we playing against. So I used Statname to check this guy's stats. Well, VPIP is very good for us, a huge number which we want to see, so he plays a lot of hands, and he probably plays poorly, and basically his win rate confirms it. He also has a low won money at showdown, which is good for us, good for raising, and he actually raises a lot on every street, and particularly he raises 16% on the river, which is again a lot. So all in all, considering his VPIP and his win rate, we can basically tell that this is a recreational player, and he has a wide range here, and he also raises a lot, and he has a low won money at showdown. And all in all, we can say that this is a guy who can clearly overplay his hands. Okay, let's think, are there any possible hands in his range which he could overplay in this spot? And I think he can easily overplay here his 10x hands. Well, it really suits his line. 10x combos, betting flop, then checking turn, because he's afraid of potential flushes in our range. Or, well, not necessary, right? He could just check his 10x combos, his second pair combos for pot control. And finally, on the river, he has a trips, which is a strong hand, and a recreational player can easily raise this hand even on a flush board. So, in the end of the day, I think it is a fine line by hero. It's a borderline raise, a borderline shove, because we have a low flush. But yeah, I think it's fine, and our opponent indeed had a trips. Alright, let's go to the next one. Ace-King suited, a guy with 26 big blinds limps. We isolate, we use quite a big sizing here, and we get a call from the button with a huge stack. And yes, notice that we have an effective stack of about 124 with this guy. Short stack shoves, and the first question we have to ask, which option is better here, folding, calling, or shoving. And to make a decision here, we actually have to run both our opponents through Statname. Okay, this is our short stack, and if you want to know his VPIP, you don't look here, you look here, because on the top we have his total VPIP, and he actually plays more PLO 50. So if you want to know his no limit VPIP, we go here, we pick no limit, and we also pick short-handed plus full ring. But anyways, this is a recreational player, without a doubt. He has a huge VPIP, so we can easily stack off. But there is another guy we have to take into account, and let's go over his stats. And yeah, this is a recreational player as well. He plays 60-30 in terms of VPIP and PFR, and notice that he also has a 3-bet range of 12.2%. So when he calls here, it means that he calls a lot of hands because of the huge VPIP, and also it is a very capped range because he would 3-bet a lot as well. So yeah, we expect him to squeeze a lot here. Well, not squeeze, 3-bet our isolate a lot. And when he calls, it means a weak capped range and a wide range, so we can easily shove. Clearly the best option. We stack off against nines, we win a coin flip, and we bust another player, which is great. And the final hand for today, 10-9. We open a small blind, opponent calls, we bet without any equity on the flop, using a smaller sizing. We hit bottom end of a gut shot, we overbet, and finally on a blank river we fire for the third time. I'll show you the results right away. He calls and he shows a 7-6 of diamonds. So he called down with the third pair. He basically blocks some of our value betting range, and so he decided to call down. Okay, first question, if our bluff was good in the first place. I mean, bluffing on the river, is it a good idea, considering that our opponent calls us down quite lightly? Well, considering his stats, he is a default regular, I would say. Went to showdown 29, won money at showdown 51, won once off flop 49. Well, I'd say he's more stationary than your average regular. His fault versus Cbet in position 39, 37 and 53. Well, he's not a big folder, but he definitely knows how to fold, especially on the river. 53 on the river is not very low rate. So I'd say in the end of the day we want to bluff against this guy, but we don't want to go too far. I mean, we don't want to overbluff or bluff too much. And our hand 10-9 of clubs, I think it's a nice candidate for bluffing. The only street where we can give up the idea of bluffing is probably flop. But I actually like the idea of bluffing with this hand on the flop because we have no showdown value. On the turn we hit additional equity, now we have a bottom end of a gut shot, so this is a great spot to keep on bluffing. And on the river we have no showdown value and we don't bluff his folding range. So again, good candidate for bluffing. So despite the result, I like this play. Alright, this is it for today. Thank you very much for watching and have a nice day.